Hello, my dear friends. Your host Shurma here once again. A very warm welcome to my art channel and thank you so much for tuning in today. Let's paint purple florals on a note card. Yes, that is the title for today's project, and let me tell you, it's going to be awesome. So let's get started without any further delay. Here is the list of supplies which I would be using for today's project. So let's begin with chapter 1, that is planning the elements of the note card. I have two elements with me. The first one being a top folding white card base. It is 3.6 inches on all sides. There's another little piece of white watercolor paper which is already having a kind of stenciled background, and it is 3.1 inches on all the sides. Now this is a leftover piece from a previous project, and if you would like to know how to create such stenciled backgrounds, then I would encourage you to please click on the I button which appears on the right hand side of this particular screen. Now here is the stencil which I had used for this particular project, but you may use whatever you have in your stash. In the next step, I would be creating floral images on this particular background. So let's move on to the next chapter, painting the florals. Here I bring in the interesting palette, gold acrylic color, light purple acrylic color, medium magenta, deep magenta and white acrylic, and I'm using an acrylic sheet as a palette. These are the brushes which I would be using: line brush 0, a round brush number 2, a filbert brush medium size. The next one is a flat brush number 4 followed by flat brush number 5. So here I'm having flat brush number 5 in hand, and I have loaded it with light purple and white. I go ahead and add a bit of deep magenta and blend the colors well. I can also go ahead and add one more color, that is a medium magenta. So that makes 4 colors on the same flat brush number 5. You need to blend all the colors well for good results. Next, I bring in a narrow piece of white paper and I will be using it as a ruler. So I place it on the stenciled background and I am trying to create a single stripe of gold acrylic color. I try to fill in as much as I would like to. Next, I turn the paper and do the same on the other side as well. You might have noticed that the stripes are not continuous. That is just to create a bit of drama here, although most of it will hide behind the floral image. So at this point I bring in my flat brush number 5 and it has deep magenta, medium magenta and a bit of light purple on it, and you will see it also matches the bottom of the background paper. So here I begin creating the petals of a rose flower. I do not go and add the white color to the mix at the first go. Initially, try to create the petals with the darker colors, and when I'm happy with the shape of the petal, I go ahead and add a bit of white and keep on increasing the dose of white acrylic depending on how light or dark I would like the petal to be. Here I'm trying to create the belly of the rose. Now here I've brought in a little pot of acrylic retarder solution, and you see how I dipped my brush into it? Yes, now this retarder solution helps in keeping the acrylic color fluid for a longer time. Next, I go ahead and add more of white to the belly, as you can see, and it is highlighting it more and more. Let me talk to you a bit while you watch me create the purple rose. Do you know, flowers always make people feel better, happier, and more helpful. They are sunshine, food, and medicine for the soul. As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, the earth laughs in flowers. And yes, Oscar Wilde said, a flower blossoms for its own joy. Happiness held is the seed, and happiness shared is the flower. And yes, where the flowers bloom, so does hope. And if the flower happens to be purple, then it is definitely majestic and mystical, isn't it? Now here I'm trying to create the larger petals towards the front of the flower, and as I move away from the center, you will notice that I'm trying to add more of white to the petals, especially at the rim, and that will help to highlight those petals as compared to the sanctum sanctorum of the flower itself. Now, because I do not have any sketch to follow, so everything has to be done on the spot. So this is all freehand, and yes, it is interesting and challenging at the same time. Now you must be wondering what kind of a technique is this? Then let me tell you. This is decorative floral art technique. It is also known as one-stroke style of painting, wherein we are using more than one color on a single flat brush, and that helps to create blending as well as highlighting at the same time. Do you find that interesting, my dear friends? Alright, at this point I have turned my paper and I'm going to create the second purple rose at the bottom of the first one. So yes, as I was saying, this particular technique helps in shading as well as highlighting at the same time. It is extremely interesting and it helps to create beautiful nature elements, especially flowers and leaves. Now, if you would like to know more about this kind of technique, then please visit my past videos, and I will also drop some of the links in the description box below, and I hope they will be useful. And if you would like to know more about them, then do write to me in the comments below, and I will definitely reply back. Now, the second flower is hiding behind the first one as it sits over it. That is what I would like to portray. So this will not be a complete flower. I do not have to paint the entire flower here. Only whatever is visible from below the first flower. Alright, now once the flower images are done, I move on to chapter 3, that is painting the leaves and the flower sprays. Here comes the palette for the greenery. I have bamboo green acrylic color, yellow ochre, deep green acrylic color and white acrylic color, and I have a flat brush number 5 in hand. I go ahead and load it with deep green, a bit of bamboo green and a bit of yellow ochre as well. So that is 3 colors up till now. on the same flat brush number 5, and I go ahead and add a bit of white acrylic to the mix, and there you go, there are 4 colors on the same flat brush number 5. Now here are the rest of the brushes which I might be using. Again, some flat brushes, a filbert brush and 2 liners. The same ones which I showed you for the flower image as well. Here I bring in my flat brush number 5. Now I have deep green, bamboo green, a bit of yellow ochre as well as white on it. I begin painting the decorative style leaves. And that is when you will see the flowers come alive on this little piece of watercolor paper. Now if you want the leaves to be dark, then the white acrylic has to be less in proportion with respect to the greens, and if you would like to highlight the leaves more, then go ahead and add more of white acrylic. The yellow ochre acrylic color makes the leaves a bit of yellowish green. Now if you just want them to be green or shades of green, skip the yellow ochre acrylic color, and it's all up to you. These are some smaller leaves on top of the first purple flower. If I wish that the leaves are very light, then I add a lot of white into the mix. Just the proportion of the colors we are using creates a stark difference in the result. Isn't that amazing? Well, here I bring in my liner brush with light purple and white on it, and I'm creating some flower sprays around the purple roses. Next, I have loaded my liner brush with bamboo green and white, and I'm trying to create some vines here and there. Next comes the center of the flower, so I bring in yellow acrylic on my liner brush. And yes, dear friends, the painted panel is ready. So my dear friends, what do you think? The purple flowers are looking pretty or not? Do let me know in the comments below. And it's time to assemble the card. Well, now I have 2 elements with me, if you remember. The first one is the top folding white card base, and the second element would be the painted panel, and I have got a little sentiment to match the card. Once I put all the elements together, this is how it looks. So dear friends, that brings us to the close of today's project. Now you need to let me know if you enjoyed watching me paint the purple flowers on a note card. Do put down your thoughts and queries, and remember, it is always a pleasure to hear from you. Also, if you would like to know more about the decorative art technique, then let me know in the comment box below, and I will definitely help you. Also, you can connect with me on my social media handles if you like, and it would be lovely to be in touch with you. My dear friends, subscribers old and new, it is amazing to have you in my art journey, and it has been wonderful so far, and I would love to bring in new artistic experiences your way. And yes, thanks a ton for watching till the end. Here are some of my past floral painting videos. You might like them as well. And I will be back very soon with more new content. Till then, take very good care of yourself, and bye-bye.